We are now seeing the games that they are going to play about the Epstein files. We started to probe and hypothesize yesterday about the direction that this might go. And now we are starting to see it hook, line, and sinker. They aren't just going to give us the files. They're not going to do it. And we're going to put together the pieces as we look here to try to figure out what is it they are going to try to do. Now, here is Congressman James Comer, a Republican, who starts with, there might not be an Epstein list. What? Didn't everybody just vote? And there is a lot of heavy lifting being done by the word list here. He's playing semantic games, but what he's doing is very dangerous. Take a listen.
If there's no Epstein list and we want to find out if there were people that were violating the law and who they were, we'll have to construct our own. If there's not an Epstein list floating around in the Department of Justice, maybe following the money, we can construct.
Well, it's interesting. The mainstream media was going wall to wall with Epstein while you all were reopening government. I was watching, the vote. You're all over there voting to reopen government, and it's wall to wall Epstein on CNN because some files were released. We'll see if they keep that up. Now that it's sort of brought.
James Comer goes, we might have to construct the Epstein list from the evidence, of course, but it might just be like, hey, we're the Republicans and we're going to make the list and then give it to you and everybody will accept that this is the list. Another segment that really shows us the direction they're going, and then I'm going to give you kind of my deeper thoughts on this. Bartiromo asks, are we going to see the client list? And Comer goes, I don't think there's a list. At this stage of the game, it's almost December. I don't think there's a list.
Records. We'll do like we did in the Biden investigation. We'll be able to follow the money. We'll be able to identify different LLCs and different corporations to see where he...
Now, I'm so sorry to interrupt already. He goes, we're going to do it like we did it in the Biden investigation. Well, then it's not going to work. The Biden investigation was one of the most humiliating and disastrous dead-end fiascos where they brought in people like, I'm trying to remember all of the various characters. Obviously, there was the blind computer repairman, but there was Tony Bobolinsky. There were a handful of supposed blockbuster witnesses that were going to just blow the roof off of the entire thing. And we ultimately know what happened. So when I hear him say we're going to do this like the Biden probe, it's not going to be good.
This money was coming from and where it was going.
Are we going to see the client list?
I don't think there's an actual Epstein list, but if we're able to follow the money, maybe we can construct a list.
I see.
All right. Maria Bartiromo, I gotcha. Gotcha, James. So they are preparing to manufacture an Epstein list from scratch. It won't be done through discovery. It won't be done through investigation. It will be narrative construction. And he says we will have to construct our own. Those are his words. Now, there is some technical sense where there's a benign technical sense to what he might be saying where we would say, okay, that's not so bad. And it would be this. It's very misleading. Imagine that I give you 100 pieces of paper. Each one is an email from an Epstein client. In a technical sense, that's not a list. It's 100 documents. And if I go through them one by one and I go, okay, Joe Schmo is in document number 1 and I write it down. Now it's Joe Schmay and his number 2. I'm constructing a list and it's not literally a list that I've been handed. It's just a stack of communications. That's like the most benign technical explanation of all of this. But we already know that we are way beyond that based on everything we've seen so far. And when he says we might have to construct this, we should be very, very afraid. One more clip here where, as always, Maria Bartiromo tries to wrap this into the Mar-a-Lago raid and the January 6th riots and Russia collusion. And is this all part of the same hoax? I don't even know what she means by this question, but let's see if we can figure it out.
All of this is part of an overall fabric that I think the DOJ is trying to put together of conspiracy, beginning with Russia collusion, going into the impeachments, going into the Hunter Biden laptop, the Mar-a-Lago raid. Is January 6th part of that? Were they using January 6th to blow up this whole idea that Trump was an insurrectionist as a way to shut down speech and shut down any questions about the 2020 election?
Right. January 6th was a terrible day, but what we've learned is Pelosi didn't do her job, and what we've learned is the federal government had a lot bigger role that day than we realized. They denied having any agents on the ground, and now it turns out there were dozens and dozens of agents, and we've all seen the videos.
In plain clothes.
In plain clothes.
And in Trump
and why
gear.
lie about it? If there was nothing nefarious, why be dishonest about it? And I wonder if the January 6th committee members knew. Did Adam Schiff know? Did Jamie Raskin, who's the most dishonest?
There you go. So what they are now doing is the real conspiracy. It's not to prevent the release of the Epstein files, even though I'm telling you on national TV. I don't know that there is a list, and we're going to have to construct one from scratch. The real conspiracy is the January 6th committee, the riots, there were agents, it was entrapment, it was all stuff for which we have no evidence. How about we get the damn Epstein files? And hopefully now with the votes out of the way, we are closer to that. Who the hell knows? A pending Supreme Court case could strip our Fourth Amendment rights and allow immigration agents to come into our homes for any reason, no probable cause needed, all while Republicans try to twist things so that you think this is all great for America. This should be the biggest story in the U.S. right now, but it's almost impossible to keep up with the millions of moves that Trump is making every single day. That's why Ground News exists. Ground News is an app and website that exposes the blind spots and spin before it takes control of our opinions. Ground News is the smarter, more reliable way to stay informed when MAGA is banking on us getting distracted. I'm partnering up with Ground News to give you 40% off the same Vantage plan that I use. So you'll pay only $5 a month for all of their premium features. Just go to ground.news/Pakman or use the code Pakman in the app when you sign up. The link is in the description or scan the QR code.